As a beginner to Unreal Engine, I struggled to adjust to a new game engine that had a completely different programming system from ones I've used before, like Unity. Blueprints, plugins, game interfaces, and so on, they all confused me at first. Through Assignment 3, I learned how to readjust the inner workings of my project to fit my current abilities and to better understand how to use Unreal. Like with most interactive projects, I started off wanting to include a lot of elaborate special effects and player actions that I didn't actually know how to make yet. As such, my project is the amalgamation of several sections from various tutorials by different creators, which I did my best to piece together into a cohesive whole. Looking back, using those constraints as guidelines rather than limitations actually helped me create a solid structure for my world. I wanted to portray an extreme version of isolation and a peaceful acceptance of tragedy, with a lone survivor reprogramming a family helper robot to, instead of focus on assisted living, know how to dig graves so that he could be buried alongside his deceased family members, who in this world passed as a result of radiation poisoning from a war. I felt that having the player take the form of an emotionless, amnesiac robot would help underscore the atmosphere of solemn nostalgia for something neither the player nor the robot has seen firsthand. I followed a tutorial on using the investigation object tool feature in my game as the driving narrative force, alongside environmental elements and a separate one to change the scene's rendered look, which worked well since the programming for the two did not intersect. Really though, I wanted the space itself to tell the story of what happened here, like the cans of food that were scattered across the building, the clothes hanging everywhere, trash on the floor, and especially at the very end of it, the player encounters like the living quarters of the family that lived there, and I wanted that to be where the big reveal happens of kind of like from start to finish what happened, that the war began, and then since they were isolated, the man who was an engineer built this robot to help them kind of go through their daily life, especially since when the radiation poisoning started affecting his other family members before him, starting with the mom, his wife, and then his two kids. And then once they pass, that's when he reprograms the robot, and you, as the player or the robot, does not know that. But through seeing these children's drawings on the wall, I was hoping that that could be conveyed beyond just the investigation object. The post-processing aspect was really more like to drive the aesthetics of this project and sort of make it look a lot more sort of nostalgic, old, almost like through a sepia filter kind of look. Ultimately, I ended up incorporating a lot of post-processing software like Adobe After Effects and Premiere Pro to add elements to the recording of my game, making everything more cohesive and cinematic, including adding a Gaussian blur, cuts, fade-ins and fade-outs between scenes, and audio adjustments. Consequently, working with the bounds of an unfamiliar engine kind of forced me to adapt and eventually find more creative solutions to working the game out how I wanted than I would have otherwise.